Tron Ares just came out, and I have to say, I'm actually pleasantly surprised and enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to never miss a video. We have daily film content, including movie reviews, movie news, and so much more. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button to never miss a video. Tron Ares. Now, this is a film that I've seen trailers for. It's very much a big tentpole film that's been marketed rather well, and marketed well in the sense that it's been everywhere. So my interest peaked, and of course, it being the big tentpole for the week, and of course, with this one being a big tentpole film this week, or the big tentpole film of the week, it got a decent amount of screenings last night, so I had the opportunity of seeing it last night. And I have to say, just starting off, that I went in this film not expecting much. I honestly thought this movie was going to suck, and I wasn't going to enjoy it at all. Early reviews showed that it wasn't that great, and so I went in with low expectations, and I actually left rather pleasantly surprised. And that's a mixture for two reasons. One, because I really had no expectations of this movie at all, and the fact that it had the opportunity to wow me, and it really did, is part of it. And the other part of it is that this movie, in a technical aspect, is not very good, but that's part of its charm, and that's what I love about this movie, and what makes it so good. Now, for those who don't know, this is the third Tron in the Tron series, not necessarily a trilogy. First Tron came out in the 80s, and then Disney rebooted Tron with Tron Legacy back in like 2011 or 10, somewhere around there. Film in the Tron series. The first two films are relevant to an extent, but you don't have to actually see them to be able to see this movie, understand what's going on, and enjoy it. And that's kind of the simplicity of this film, and that's kind of what makes it good. That's the beauty of this film. You don't have to see the first two to understand this film or even see this film. And this film's simplicity and its lack of storytelling is really what makes it so good. Its visuals and its visuals is pretty much what drives this movie. It's very much a fun ride, and it has very little to no storytelling or storyline really at all. The entire film is pretty much two rival companies. One being the company that Flynn founded back in the 80s, and was huge with Tron, the video game, and all that. That company is with another rival company trying to produce the first synthetic objects from like artificial intelligence. Like, it's taking something from a computer and kind of like a 3D printer, making something physical out of it. And it's two rival companies, and they have this machine that takes pretty much anything you create within a computer and uses like a 3D simulator kind of laser to create a object in which is like edible. So you have fruits, so you can produce food to stop world hunger. Or the other company, who is the antagonist company, creates Ares, who is a soldier, an AI super soldier who he can create. It's an AI, software, and then they create with the 3D printer a actual person who can come out and fight, and it's pretty much like a super soldier, pretty much, and they're using that for like military and private security and stuff of that nature. And the entire film is that neither one of them can get the 3D, and neither one can get their 3D image, we'll call it, to last more than 29 minutes. And there's this code or to break it, where they have to do some kind of code that will give them infinite time, so you can actually produce fruit and food that will be sustainable and actually not just disintegrate in 30 minutes. Same thing with the super soldiers. They disintegrate in 29 minutes because they don't have this code to make them inevitably longer and last forever, so to speak, and kind of make them real in our world forever. So the entire film is a race against this, and it's not a spoiler, this is the entire film, is that the one company, Flynn's company, actually has the code, and the other company who's trying to get there first, knows that she has it, or figure out that she has it, and uses his AI soldiers, to then try to kidnap her and give him the code. Like the first 35 minutes of this movie, 40 minutes of this movie, I said 30 maybe, is a intense chase, which is again, it's a very simple storyline to follow, but it's so visually stunning, and the visuals are what really kind of make this film enjoyable. Like, at no point are you bored in this movie. It's very much a eye candy type film, and it's a lot of fun. And they kind of did, I think, a really good job with this film as far as making something that is going to be easy to follow, a film that is a installment into a previous IP that you don't have to need, or you don't need any prior background or knowledge of that IP to see this movie and enjoy it, which kind of makes it a really good blockbuster of the week. So it's like it's very heavy on the visuals. It lacks in storyline. Like, honestly, like I said, it's a lot of fun because it dips down a little bit towards like the third act. You have a very unclimactic climax, and then you kind of have this, your moments where it kind of ends, and then you have this, final scene that kind of comes back to it and brings it back to a kind of good ending, in a sense that it works as a really bad ending. Like, the best way I can describe this movie is that it is a very fun, entertaining film, and it has like a Morbius ending. Like, when I mean Morbius, I mean the Jared Leto film Morbius. Like, literally, I wasn't even thinking that because Jared Leto played in that movie, but I was watching the end of, like, when the credits were all driving home. I came out of the theater, my theater reaction was, I absolutely had a lot of fun. This movie was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. Very enjoyable. And then I was like, driving home, I'm like, it kind of had that Morbius ending. Like, it wasn't a good ending, but it was kind of a fun ending. Like, it reminds me of those kind of throwback to those old Hollywood movies, I guess we'll call them, or old blockbuster films. And when I say old Hollywood, I don't mean like the 50s and 60s. I mean back in like the 90s, 2000s, when you had those Hollywood endings that were very much kind of cheesy, and they kind of led you up to a sequel, but they weren't forcing a universe. Like, I feel like most franchises now, they set up their ending of the film. They pretty much write their third act of the film to set up 10 more films and branch off in different franchises. This one has that very simplistic Hollywood ending where it leaves it open for a sequel, and you can continue the story, but it doesn't force it. And it's very kind of cheesy and fun. And it's not like this, world-bending ending that's like, okay, dun, 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 it ends on this cliffhanger where it's setting up 10 more movies and 3 different spinoffs. And that's kind of what I like about it. It sets up where it could be a sequel, but it doesn't force it down your throat. And the ending kind of feels tongue-in-cheek, but in a good way. So overall, I'm actually going to give this one a full price. And I say that because I feel like this is one of those films you got to see on the big screen. Like, I saw this in Dolby, and it was a blast. It was just, again, this film is really driven by its visuals. And I feel like seeing this at home on Netflix isn't going to give you that same impact as seeing it in a theater. Again, it's because the visuals, the sound, it's very much a visual-driven film, and one that I feel like if you see it in theaters, you'll enjoy it a lot more, because other than its visuals, it's lacking in every other aspect of the film. It's really the visuals that really drive it. That being said, give it a full price. Question of the day is, are you going to see Tron Ares in theaters? And if you have, what are your thoughts? Comment below. Let me know.